Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Chorus Girl Quilting, and it's another show and tell Sunday. And today we are showing off a quilt that I made for my brother. Um, you might see some familiar things in here. I was inspired to make this quilt by a picture posted on the business Facebook page of Nancy, the lady that used to do my quilts before I got my own long arm. And one of her clients came to pick up quilts made with these Crown Royal bags. They look like this. Nancy posts pictures of her clients with their finished quilts on her Facebook page. It's really fun. Anyway, that was just kind of a random thing. Anyway, I was inspired by those quilts, and I sent a text to my brother who likes Crown Royal, and I asked him if he had enough bags to make a quilt. I could make a quilt for him. And he answered me back and said, "Oh, I might." So once when we were down here at the Love Shack, my sister-in-law found the bags that they had saved, and there were 12, 14 of them. And so I took those and decided to make a quilt. This design is not really my design. I just looked around on Pinterest and other quilt, I think I even Googled, quilt patterns using Crown Royal bags, and a lot of variations came up. And because I didn't have a lot of bags, this idea was a pretty good idea. The block is here, wherever you see one color of bag and squares, this is one block. And I used the whole bag. On here, we you have your emblem or your logo here. And so I cut all this stitching off around the edge, which is really messy, by the way, just so you know. And figured out the largest square I could get out of this piece. And that's what I based the rest of my math on. I used at the back of the bag. I even used these strips here as I could to make these squares. And cuts, I had to cut some of my small squares out of this fabric as well. The colors, the different colors go with the different flavors of Crown Royal. The straight, just Canadian Crown Royal Canadian whiskey comes in a navy blue bag with gold lettering on it. And then all of these other colors are flavors, just for green apple. I think this is caramel, and this was special edition with the snowflake. And then there's just peach. There's peach flavored, and I think this was blackberry. I don't know. I don't drink it, so I'm not sure what all the flavors are. But anyway, and this bag fabric is a little different. It's not 100% cotton. It's just kind of an odd little fabric. But anyway, I think it turned out super great. So what I did, this was before I had my long arm. So when I got it made, I made my quilt sandwich, and I just stitched a simple crosshatch pattern across diagonally on my domestic sewing machine. And I used red thread, and I think it goes really nicely with this whole diagonal pattern that these blocks set up. This is kind of a variation on what is called an Irish chain. And I filled in with this red and really dark coffee brown. These are grunge fabrics, which I have mentioned in previous videos. It kind of looks like it has a dry brush effect on it, and they're great blender fabrics because sometimes there's extra color in them that you can use, and it pulls out other color inside your background fabric. This, I also did a flange, the faux flange binding on here where I have my striped binding, but then it looks like I have piping here in the red grunge. That is one of my favorite bindings to do. It just really kind of sets off the quilt. This cowboy boot themed fabric my brother is not necessarily a cowboy, but they are, Yellowstone fans, so the TV show. And so I thought that would be kind of cool, kind of the ranch Yellowstone feel to the quilt. The back is even more ranch, cowboy, western themed. And so we're going to take a pause and we'll flip it over so you can see how that looks on the back. So hold tight. Okay, here's the back of the quilt. I think this is great. Just home is where you hang your hat. Blame it on my boots. The Wild West. There's some kind of Teton Valley Cattle Co. And my brother does raise cows. Howdy, y'all. The great stripe that goes through here. And then, of course, my label. And about the time I was texting him about this, it was around the time of his birthday. In that year, he was turning 60. So that's what I did. His label for Monty and for his 60th birthday. So that is, I guess I'll call it the Crown Royal quilt for my brother. Great fun. I think it turned out really well. Like, I love the colors in this and the good graphic of it. And so we will see you soon. Keep liking and subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. Thanks to the handyman for filming, by the way. And we will see you on Wednesday for what I'm working on Wednesday. Bye.